So this is the continuation of report of Miss Amiraiza. Studies show that values contrast or conflict often related to Filipino personality traits due to the influence of tradition versus modern ways, family versus school training, and urban versus rural influence, and that is according to the research on church in 1986. So dito natin makikita that church or sa mga western, yung behavior nila is like conflict, or there is a contrast about behavior natin kasi like for example in like family versus school. So yung family mo, sa family behavior mo is iba yung maa-adapt mo na behavior in your family, and iba rin yung maa-adapt mo na behavior in the school. Lapus in 1988 listed many polarities or contrast mentioned in the search study. Filipino personality, a review of research and writing in 1988. Some of the polarities or opposite is emphasized on smooth interpersonal relationship versus a high level of hospitality. So, dito, number one is, ito yung sinasabi natin na, yung pakikisama, we are Filipino na, ang dali-dali natin makisama, like for example in the previous example of sir, like ay besh, mag-CR tayo, tapos kung naman na sinabihan is sasama, and that is what we call ISIR versus on the other hand, in the western, particular in the western, they are mahirap silang ayayain, or sometimes in a fellow Filipino na ang hirap-hirap sila ayayain, hindi sila active, may pa-edges pa nagagawin, so ganito ganyan. Second is hiya versus predilection for status and rank, the tendency toward extravagance and boastfulness. So, heto yung for brief lang, hiya. So, it will be natural naman sa atin na may hiya tayo. Yung hiya is like shame in English. Versus yung walang hiya. So, being a Filipino, na sa atin, na-inherent na sa atin na meron tayong hiya, no? Kasi kung wala kang hiya, there is a negative effect, or there is negative thing na ganon, or tendency na kung wala kang hiya, for example, sa pagkain, kung wala kang hiya, lamon ka ng lamon. Or for example, kung wala kang hiya, ang yabang-yabang mo. Number 3 is bahala na versus about desire for security and advancement. So, dito sa bahala na is for example, in assignment. Umanswer ka nga, pero sabi mo, bahala na akong korekto or hindi. There is negative and positive effect na you accept kung ano man yung outcomes niya, kasi hindi mo siya totally desire na if you study or you answer well, there is a possible na 100% or even though 99.9% na mataas yung grades mo. Then sa bahala na is i-accept mo kung average ba yung grade mo or hindi, or pasado ba or hindi. Kasi hindi mo siya pinapabayaan totally. You done your work, pero hindi siya totally na like 100% na you give your all for that matter. About desire to security and advancement. So, dito na yung, ito yung opposite ng bahala na. So, dito is like, there is, desire for that, specific, or yung way natin to achieve that matter. So, in this way, gagawin natin yung lahat ng makakaya natin to achieve our desire. For example, in study. So, yung bahala na is like, umanswer ka nga, pero hindi mo totally ginive yung 100% of like studies, like yung knowledge mo on that matter. While versus about of desire for security and advancement, heto na yung papasok is mag-i-study ako talaga, or like dito na yung papasok yung behavior mo na like gagawin ko yung lahat, makadinlister lang ako. So that is example of these two kind of polarities in the behavior of the Filipino. The core value of the Filipino personhood. So, dito is pag-uusapan natin yung core values ng mga Pilipino. So, first things is kapwa or pakikipagkapwa, or in translate is shared identity. So, bakit siya like i-translate sa shared identity? So, according to the Virgilio Enriquez, which is yung kapwa daw is there is not literal translation, kasi yung kapwa means sa atin is like sa inner way natin, or innate na sa atin to yung sinasabing kapwa. So yung kapwa is I, you, or we, that we call kapwa. So sa pakikipagkapwa, pag sinabi natin pakikipagkapwa, it means you treat that person as like yours. For example, even though na like lahat ng may like kapatid, kaibigan, trabaho, kapamilya, kabet, even though negative or positive na matatawag natin yan na kapwa, yung bayanihan. So Filipino behavior like na inherent or like nakasanayan na nating mga Pilipino yung like bayanihan niya. Like for example, yung naplatan ka ng on that way, which is wala kang like kilala, or wala kang mga kamag-anak dyan na parte or banda na area. But when Filipino like, kasi kapwa ko to tapos tutulungan ka, so dyan natin makikita yung sinasabi nating pakikipagkapwa. Like they are participating their self, even though na hindi nila kilala yung tao yan, basta alam nila sa sarili nila, ay kapwa ko to Pilipino, tutulungan ko to. Like for example na rin sa ibang bansa, if like makita mo like Pilipino pala to, if nag-abroad, ay Pilipino pala to, then you're the other Filipino na like i-welcome ka nila. So ay kabayan ka. So that we call the behavior of the Filipino na like nasa core value na nating mga Pilipino, or nasa value na natin talagang mga Pilipino, yung sinasabing pakikipagkapwa or shared identity. So number 2 is pakiramdam, or the interpersonal values that characterizes Filipinos emotion. So pakiramdam, or dito na papasok yung like for examples, gagamitin na natin yung 5 sense natin, or like yung pandaman natin. For examples in emotional, so like for example sa ibang country, So there is Filipino na like parang walang-wala. So pag makita sila ng other Filipino or ka-Filipinos natin, which is pag makita nila like walang-wala na, so dyan na yung mararamdaman nila sa sarili, ay kapwa ko to. Pag pumasok na yung kapwa sa sarili mo, then papasok na rito yung sinasabing pakikiramdam. So alam mo sa sarili mo yung feeling na ganyan. So that why tutulungan mo siya, i-comfort mo siya. And that is like literal na sa ating Pilipino ang mga gawain niya. So number 3 is kagandahang loob. So kagandahang loob is one of our core values. For example, like number 1, kapwa ko to. Then papasok na yung pakikiramdam mo kasi like kapwa ko to nga eh. Nararamdaman ko like yung needs, kasi nasa behavior na natin yan eh, yung like you volunteering yourself onto that person basta alam mo ay Pilipino to, tutulungan ko to kasi kapwa ko to. So on that way doon napapasok yung kagandahang loob or shared nobility. So shared nobility, this is grounded in Efron and pakikiramdam. So kagandahang loob may also be described as shared humanity. So that is nasa value na nating mga Pilipino. Like for example, sa mga bata sa kalye or mga taong kalye or mga taong nasa kalye or mga taong nahihirapan. So papasok na sa atin yung kagandahang loob. Bibigay mo to kahit walang-wala ka na, or may umutang kahit walang-wala ka na talaga, ibibigay mo, or may nanghingi sa'yo na isusubon mo na nga pero ibinigay mo pa rin. So that is the value of Filipino or kagandahang loob na tinatawag or sinasabi natin. Human interactions essentials in understanding Filipino personality generally. So, levels of Filipinos typically categorize their interaction in two categories, which is those with ibang tao or outsider and those hindi ibang tao or what we call people who are part of our group. So, the level of interaction or interconnection is first is pakikitungo or what we call is amenity or the level of civility with. Dito napapasok is like pakikitungo, like nakikitungo ako, or like what we call there you have a transaction on that person, like sa pakikitungo there is transaction between people to people or people to group. Yan yung sinasabi nating pakikitungo. Pangalawa is pakikisalamuha, because there is pakikitungo, so papasok na dyan yung pakikisalamuha or like the levels of mixing or with interaction. Sa una, sa pakikitungo is like amenity. Sa pakikisalamuha, while pumasok ka na or nag-up na yung level mo as pakikitungo on that person, is nakikisalamuha ka na or like nakikibagay ka na, or there is interaction between you and that or you people to other person. That is pakikisalamuha, or you mixing yourself or you have an interaction na with that person, not totally 100% there is trust, pero like nakikibagay ka na sa kanila. So next is pakikilahok or participation. So pakikilahok is like meron na kayong way or kasanayan na natutunan sa isa't isa or gawain na natutunan both. So hindi siya 100% na like gagawin mo na 'yon kasi like meron na kayong participation, hindi siya 100% na gagawin mo na lahat yun. Iintindihin mo muna kung like there is negative. Kasi as a Filipino, iisipin muna natin, ay, hindi naman to nakakasama. So, gagawin ko na to. Or, meron dito sa pagkikilahok is meron na kayong majority na ginagawa. But, not totally 100% na ginagawa mo. Ginagawa mo lang siya because of nakikilahok or nakikiparticipate ka na lang. Next is pakikisama. So, pakikisama is what we call adjusting. Nag-a-adjust na tayo. Dito is hindi pa siya fully trust, pero meron ng tiwala or nagditiwala ka na sa kanya. Ibig sabihin, tanggap na natin yung taong yan. For example, sa pakikisama, ikaw, like for example, religious ka. Yung mga kaibigan mo is hindi religious. Then, lumabas kayo. Then, ikaw, yung mga kaibigan mo is uminom. Tapos, nandun ka rin on that time. Tapos, nag-aya sila na uminom ka. Because of, like, sabi nila, like, once lang to. Like, ikaw, na there is, sa sarili mo is, ay, makikisama ako. Or sasabihin ka ng tropa mo, ay, makisama ka na lang. Or makisama ka. Kasi, once lang naman to. So, dyan na yung papasok yung mag-a-adjust ka na, makikisama ka. So, ikaw na hindi umiinom dati is iinom na rin. Pero, remember, there is no, like, hindi siya fully trust. Kasi, uminom ka lang because that is specific occasion or that is specific, like, nangyari. Hindi siya like, uminom ka, ganito, tapos iinom ka naman hanggang bukas. Hindi na yun pakikisama. Ibang behavior na yun. In studying the Filipino personalities and values common fields method use. So heto, dito na natin yung mapag-uusapan yung common methods of Filipino, like paano ba sila like makipag-interact sa another person or makisalamuha sa other person or makibagay sa other person. First is pagtatanong. So, literal na sa atin, mga Pilipino yung pagtatanong. So, like for example, meron kang gagawin or meron kang pupuntahan so na hindi mo alam, so magtatanong ka even though na kilala mo or hindi, kasi nasa values na natin mga Pilipino. Second is pakiramdam. So, shared inner perception. So, yung pakiramdam na to is like, kung malungkot siya sa isang tabi, tapos nadaanan mo yung that person is, then, makikiramdam ka. Papasok na yan dyan yung i-comfort mo yung tao. So, number 3 is panunuluyan. So, panunuluyan or ito na yung staying with. So, nasa common values na nating mga Pilipino na like manuluyan, makitulog sa auntie, sa tropa, or sa kakilala. So, nasa common na nating mga Pilipino yung sinasabi na panunuluyan. So, number 4 is what we call pakikipamuhay or living with. So, dahil sa Pilipino or common na sa ating Pilipino na like nanunuluyan tayo, then pag tumagal yung panahon ng panunuluyan mo sa like sa auntie mo, sa tropa mo, or sa like sa kapitbahay mo, even though na kapitbahay lang yan, pag tumagal na yan yung panunuluyan mo, diyan na papasok yung pakikipamuhay or hindi ka na nanunuluyan yan. Nakikitira ka na. Kasi matagal na eh. Kasi kung nanunuluyan ka lang, there is possibility na aalis ka rin. The actual development and implementation of method should be sensitive to the situation and needs of the Philippines, so as a third world country. Thus, the katutubong pamamaraan or indigenous method should be designed to respond to the canon of science and at the same time cultural sensitivity and appropriate. So in short, the indigenization or Filipinization of the social science focus on the study of ethnicity, society, culture, and its application to historical, anthropological, psychological research, and practicing using indigenous knowledge. So, the study is it will be originated on Filipino aspect and perspective